All right, I think we're live. Hello, everyone. This is my little hand. Welcome. My name is Leanne Furness, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Rochester, Minnesota. I have a little issue with my eyelids swelling, so I'm just not going to go on camera because no one wants to see this. Tonight we're going to talk about designer series paper, and I think we all look at some of this paper and go, well, now what? I like it, but what am I going to do with it? So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you a 6x6 version. Now there's 12x12 versions out there where you use all of your 12x12 paper, but 6x6 has kind of been the go-to thing. And in my email and on my post before this, I said something about the Global Inspiration Stamp Team is doing something similar. We are going to be hosting November 15th and 16th on that group. You have to be a member, so you have to ask me to join if you haven't already. And we're going to do something similar. I'm not going to do the same one. I'm going to change it up. I don't even know what I'm doing yet because that would be silly. So I just figured this out today. So here's what I got. I got a 6x6 piece of paper, and this is the measurement. So I'm going to start with this bird from the Nests of Winter Designer Series paper. That's in our mini catalog that's currently going until the end of December. And I'm going to cut this. So this is 6x6, right? So I'm going to go to 3 1/4 and just cut this. Not score it. We'll cut it. And then I'm going to go to 5 inches. Now the reason we're doing it that way is because I'll show you. Then what you're going to do, and put those little pieces to the side, I'm going to go ahead and do a diagonal cut. And why? Because there is a card on my buffet right now that does exactly this with the Splendid Autumn Designer Series paper, which is one of my favorite. And it's back in stock. Woohoo! So then you're going to just like lay this down and lay this down and add some glue and then stamp your greeting. Now the sweetly scripted sentiments work great for that. You could do something else or just put another color in there if you don't want to stamp right on there, if you don't have a greeting that would fit. But basically this card then becomes a very simple with a greeting embellishment card. So that is on my buffet, something similar, and let me just show you that. So here is a finished project, and so I just did exactly what I just did. 3 1/4 by 5, and then you just slice it down the middle. How simple, right? So that's part of that beautiful paper that you don't even see, and you can do it with any of the papers. That's what I wanted to showcase too. So then we end up with a piece of 2 3/4 by 6 and a little piece of 1 inch by 3 1/4. Now, sometimes the back side of the DSP is usable, sometimes it isn't. I mean, I guess I'm not going to stress out about using this little piece, but I know some of you might, because you don't like to waste a thing. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my trimmer again, and I'm going to cut. So this is 2 3/4, because that's, 6 plus minus 3 1/4 is 2 3/4. And I don't even like math. And I'm going to cut this in half at 3. And then because it's not an even amount, I was trying to figure out how do I make it kind of a fun cut, but yet keep the image kind of together. So I came up with cutting 1 inch from one side, and then cutting 1 inch from the other side, which then leaves a 3/4 of an inch in the middle. And I went and grabbed some coordinating cardstock, because of course it has to coordinate, and I went and added that to this square. The square is 3 1/4, I believe, and because you want some space between it. And so that would be my card. Let me show you the finished example. This one I dry embossed it just to give it a little bit of something in back. But you can see how that just kind of completes a card, and you've just used a fourth of your paper. So that's project number 2, or wait, you know, things you can do with number 2. Let's put that over there. And then I'm going to grab this last piece. Now, you can do a couple things. Let me show you. Well, I got a little crazy. Well, I became crazy. So I wanted to do a little bit more visually, you know, kind of cool. And I thought, well, I want this bird to be kind of a highlight of this sheet now. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off in a diagonal. And I didn't measure, if you noticed, I didn't measure. Cut that off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this up, and I'm going to cut the exact same angle on the top side. Or I could draw a pencil and then cut. But because I didn't measure, I just have to hope that this works, right? And because the designer series paper, excuse me, is coordinating and looks so good, I'm going to go ahead, and it's not quite perfect, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and like layer it, and then I'm going to use this to really accentuate that bird. So I'm just going to go ahead quick and do this, and I'm going to show you. Oh gosh, why do I like Tombow glue, you ask? Well, in theory, it's quick, fast, and easy, but sometimes it's messy and annoying, which is everything in life. All right, so I'm going to go like that, and you notice I did the corners first, and then I'm going to go ahead, and the good thing about Tombow is you could see I could move that around a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some more glue on there, and then I'm going to trim down this square. The square is exactly what it was before. The other one, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, but because I didn't have that much space between them, I can just go ahead and trim off that little piece. And then I have that kind of a look, which I think is pretty cool. It kind of highlights the bird, and you'd have a grading. So let's look at a finished example. Here is the paper from the Splendid Autumn. It is 6 by 6, and I cut like I showed you. So this side was the 3 1/4 by 5, so that's that card. And then this is the 2 3/4 by 3 inch square, and then I cut the 1 inch and 1 inch and ended up with that 3/4. And then like I said, I texturized it, just give it a little bit of something something. And then here's another diagonal cut, but I used both sides. I used the whole same designer series paper. Also embossed that, or dry embossed it, so I added a little bit more texture. And you could put like some leaves here or something, because this paper right here is kind of boring, but I just wanted to use all of this. So there was one little strip I didn't use. So did you see how that works? So let's look at one more example. So I grabbed one of these, which this is Full of Life designer series paper, and it really, 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 look at it, it's even to scale. Wow. It's hard to use sometimes, I think. This one is not so much hard, but I think that part is hard. So I thought, well, let's just try it. Let's see what we can do. So I grabbed a 3 1/4 by 5 piece and split it. Only it could be really like this way now. So it's just flipping your card around. It's not rocket science. So that works out great. Again, this Simply Scripted online exclusive stamp set. And then I'm going to do this, and then I had that square again, the two, well, not a square because the square is equal, right? So 2 3/4 by 3, and I kind of just cut it apart and then covered up the little whatever that's called, starburst, with this little guy, and added some gems, and again embossed. And then this I did exactly the same thing. I did the 1 inch, 3/4, 1 inch, and this is that strip that you get that's left over. And I used it because of this paper was so willingly, I could stamp the word on it, and then it could reuse that. So I didn't waste any of that paper. So it's just kind of a matter of playing, but sometimes you just need to start. And I love, 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 love this technique because you really can get, I mean, it's super simple and easy, and you just have to have greetings there, or you could do like little dots or flowers. I mean, there's so many possibilities, so many. All right, thank you. Let me know what you think. I would love to see your creations if you do any, and I suppose I should be putting these up on the Facebook page. If you're interested in being in the Global Inspiration Stamp Team group, you need to email me or find that group that I'm connected to and ask to join, and you'll have to answer some questions and say I invited you, because only the demonstrators who demonstrate can invite people. And then we have like little giveaways, so it's worth your time, and you don't have to watch it live. You can watch it whenever you want. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your week, everybody.